Welcome to Blue Line Mental Health. I'm glad you're here. If you haven't already, please take a moment to click that like button and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of our new content we share. Warning: this channel may contain material that is graphic and could potentially be a trigger for some. Viewer discretion is advised. Don't say I didn't warn you. In this video, I'm honored to be joined by the Chief of Wauwatosa, James MacGILLIS, to discuss the mental health challenges law enforcement officers face amidst the increasing community stressors over the last decade. We'll explore strategies for resilience and support within the force and the community. Let's dive in.
My name is James MacGILLIS. I currently work for the City of Wauwatosa Police Department. It is a first-ring suburb of the City of Milwaukee. I've been in law enforcement I'm in my 30th year now. I started in 1995. Prior to working at Wauwatosa, I worked at the City of Milwaukee Police Department, where I retired in 2021 as a captain. Took a little break and then was sworn in as the Chief of Wauwatosa, which is also very cool because I grew up in Wauwatosa as well. It was challenging. Even after 3.5 years in my current role, I have to remind myself that we don't have 1,800 or 1,500 cops to do the things that need to happen. Again, it's scale. That was a little bit of a culture shock. I understood it, but now that I've been living it, I understand it intimately. And that also helps define my role. My role is to plan more strategically, to trust my supervisors that they're out there supporting our men and women when they're out there doing the day-to-day job. There's plenty of things to do, whether it's stopping at a business for a business check or stolen cars or retail thefts. That's the day-to-day that we do in policing. But how do we get them the necessary equipment? How do we leverage technology to make their jobs easier? I also think one of my roles as a chief or as an executive is to take those barriers and try and get them out of the way, to work towards the things that they need so that they can be successful, whether it's a technology upgrade or a piece of equipment or upgrades to their squad cars or, hey, benefits and advocacy of making sure that they're healthy, happy, and whole so they can go out and do the day-to-day job. Again, it's scale. I can't imagine how much more challenging it is for a larger agency. But in that same vein, it's equally challenging for a smaller agency because you don't have as many people. You're still expected to do the day-to-day operation, the day-to-day policing, while you're trying to get those other things strategically done over a longer period of time. Well, as a first ring community to a major urban area, the city of Milwaukee, 86% of our crime comes from the city of Milwaukee. I don't say that as a finger point, that's just the reality of it. Wauwatosa isn't a sleepy suburb. It sees plenty of policing business, from stolen cars to occasional armed robberies, the occasional shooting. Domestic violence is an issue in every community, whether they're a 600,000 resident city like Milwaukee or a 50,000 resident city like Wauwatosa. They see the whole gambit of different crimes. It's just scale and frequency. And that translates to a very rural department too. You could have a 5-person police department. It's scale and frequency. They see the same things. It's just a matter of how often. officers on a day-to-day basis deal with trauma, they deal with challenge, ugliness in the community. They're expected to go and respond and be the voice of reason, the voice of calm, stabilization, investigate crimes, protect the people that can't be protected. But one of the biggest challenges is that people also forget that behind that badge and behind that uniform, there's a human being who has a family, who has wants and desires. They want to be happy, they want to be productive, and that takes a toll on the men and women that go out there every day and protect the streets of whatever city that they're working in. It starts to pile up over time. That compounded with the media and community rhetoric and those types of stressors adds additional stress on top of a police officer. I can tell you from being rank and file and a supervisor and now as a police chief, we can't ignore the fact there's also internal stressors that happen too. Policies and rules, and that adds an additional layer of stress. The internal, they call it procedural justice, adds another layer of stress on top of cops. Well, from when I started a long time ago, we were expected to be law enforcement officers, and community's expectations of cops has transitioned to they want us to be anything and everything. And the good news is law enforcement is pushing back and defining its boundaries, where we do have a significant role as a first responder to stabilize the scene. And we're also asking the question, then what? What are we going to do with this particular situation, whether it's somebody who's in a mental health crisis or somebody who is dealing with substance use disorder, drug addiction, or how do you break the cycle of domestic violence? We get there, we stabilize, we investigate, and we're also asking the question, then what? And that's where we're having those conversations and aligning ourselves with other service providers so we know who to do the handoff to, because we're not social workers. We're police officers. That's part of our role, but we're not social workers. They're there to serve the community. Politicians are there to provide a service, and it's again scale. My mayor and I talk frequently about this. We're there to make sure the garbage gets picked up and the trees are pruned and they have safe public spaces to go to. We're there to provide that as a service in government. So we're there to serve. Cops are part of that. But the unique thing about law enforcement, about being a police officer or a sheriff's deputy, is that you touch every other piece of government. Administration can't function without being safe. Nobody's going to go to the library unless they feel safe to go check out a book or a movie. DPW workers can't go and do those services unless they feel safe. It's the one unique component of government that touches every other one. So it's incumbent upon law enforcement to have those type of relationships and make sure that we're aligned on what the city's goal is or what the municipality's goal is. We're there to serve. We're there to serve the community. That's collectively, whether you're an elected official, whether you're a city or village administrator, an alder, we're there to serve. We're part of a much bigger equation. That's my perspective on it.
Thank you for watching this video on our channel. If you found this content meaningful, please like, subscribe, and share to spread awareness and make a difference. one step at a time.